All right, guys, so welcome back. We are on day 2 of this project. I know it's been a couple of days, but I do have some reasons, some dumb reasons why I couldn't get a video out. And it's actually due to some allergies that happened that I got, and I still have it right now. I'm feeling it right now. The other day, I came in here and I was recording and doing fine, getting through the projects, trying to tell you guys about what went wrong with that triangle piece that wouldn't fit correctly. And so I was trying to fix it and trying to explain that. And what happened was I had taken some allergy meds earlier on in that day, or just like half an hour ago or something before doing the recording, and ended up just being the meds just kicked in, and I was sitting here like blanking out, couldn't even think about what I was gonna say, and trying to choose like the glass colors and trying to talk at the same time and doing the work and everything. My mind was so clouded that the meds worked because I didn't have allergies, but I ended up just not even being able to think. And so I I got through it and I did some of the cuts, and I thought I was gonna just try to make that video work, but it's just a terrible thing to I it's not fun to watch me try to sit here and stare blank at the screen, at you guys, and not have anything to say. Like, it was that the meds kicked in pretty hard, and it was just some Benadryl. Like, that's pretty crazy how it works. So fast forward to now, where we're at is so let's back up. First of all, we're doing this project, right? This is the air plant holders, and we've decided that we're gonna make this diamond shape, and the air plant will go right on it, and we'll have this little pocket of triangle that holds it together. So very simple. And so you can have just the one project, and then if you wanted to, you can add a second one, third, fourth, whatever you want, and eventually we'll solder it all up together. But it could be a standalone one piece, right? So ran into some problems last time with the triangles on top that didn't fit right, and I sat here trying to figure it out, what happened, what went wrong, and I actually have found a solution and found the problem. So let me try to explain this to you guys, so if you're drawing it up on your own, you have the correct dimensions. From that last video, it was off just because I made a mistake. All right, so here it is. If you hear me get some allergies right now, I'm just still going through it, so I apologize for that. I took half of the medicine this time, and so if it does kick in, hopefully it doesn't kick in so much that I'm super out of it. So yeah, sorry about that in advance. Okay, so let's try to explain this again. We have this diamond shape here, and we've got the center point to the end corner. That is 7 squares. Okay, from here, center to the end, 7, or center to the end, those are 7 squares, 7 squares. And then from center down, that's 16 squares. 7, or center up is 16 squares. So now we have our diamond shape. And then for the triangle, what I did was, I told you guys go ahead and make it 8 from the top, so we have a little bit of extra length. So when the triangles come together, they'll meet, and you'll have this opening, this little pocket right here. And I ended up keeping this right angle and stretching it out 1 square and drawing the line down, connecting to complete the triangle. What I messed up on right here was that it ended up stretching out this length, and so instead of keeping it the correct length, it expanded it. And so now we have this longer section right here, which throws everything off, and then the pieces that I cut from last time didn't work. What you're supposed to do, and what I think I have corrected right now, is instead of extending to the right on this triangle, you're going to extend it to the left, which is this piece right here. So that now gives us a perfect side, which is the same length and will connect to the base, to this diamond. and you draw it 8 to the left, and from that point you draw it down all the way to the tip. So now you have your triangle that fits our diamond. So all it is just a slight change in how you draw up this triangle. So make sure that your side that connects to the diamond is the correct length. And I didn't pay attention to that, so that threw me off, and so that's where we were with that. So I have corrected it, and you know, I was telling you guys in the previous trash video that that's, you know, it's not going to make it. I was trying to explain all this stuff while I was super drowsy, getting confused with the words and everything, and so it just didn't work out. So I hope that explanation was good enough. I'm gonna also, I think it's easy enough for everybody to draw that up, but I will do my best to have that template somehow drawing up as well. So I'll try to figure that out after this project. But if you want to get a head start, then yeah, I will stick to this right now, and you'll have this these shapes completed here. So then what I went ahead and did was I started cutting all these triangles. I've just chosen some of the colors and mixed them around. So I think it'll look pretty cool, just kind of a mix and match with the triangles. And most of them came out pretty good. They cut really nice and fairly easy. Don't think that I need to get a grinder. For some reason, some of the pieces didn't really cut as nice as I thought it would, and so we are gonna have to grind some of them. So instead of getting the grinder, I thought it'd be, you know, a good time to try to use this carborundum stone. So we have the stone, and then you can kind of see how it grinds down, and you know, we can make a project 100% without a grinder. So maybe it's gonna help those of you who are new to this, still don't have a grinder. You know, back in the days when I started, I wasn't working with a grinder at all, so I made projects without it too. So this is one of those projects I feel that you can do this with, you know, just a stone. So keep it simple, and you don't have to get a grinder just yet, right? So we're gonna dunk this straight in the water, and I was trying to, it was like bubbling. It's porous, so I guess water's getting into it. But what we're gonna do is, I got this piece right here. Hopefully, I don't know, I might not pick it up, but up from the top view, maybe. Yeah, so there's like some of these jagged, rough parts right here on the top. We're gonna try to file that down to the line and keep it flat, just as flat as it can be. This thing is not connecting anything else, right? Because it's a floating piece. There's nothing on top or that will connect this top part. So I just want to make it straight, just so it looks nice when we go to foil it. So that's all. Probably just a little bit of cleaning on some of these overall, and you know, just that's what the stone is for. Minor corrections, nothing trying to, you know, we're not trying to remove super removing all the pieces and everything. So just really trying to do light filing of the glass pieces. So we dunk it in the water, and now it should be just easy for us to grind away. And yeah, you can just file it in, go back and forth, and pick it up and see where you're at. So this way it minimizes that glass dust, so everybody's happy, and also it's good for you to not have to breathe that stuff, right? It is going to take a while though. It's more like just rounding it. So we're gonna have to put some work into this. I hope that's not sounding terrible with the grinding sound. It's feeling pretty good. It's going down. Nice. Looks like it's working. Okay, just to let you see where we're at on it. Right, looks much better. I think it's almost done, maybe 90% there. So let's try a little bit more. Call that done. Okay, so I think that's good enough. It's straight enough. Once you go to foil, add some solder on there. It'll just look as straight as like a regular nice clean brake. Okay, I'm trying to file off some of the, it's just good to do it all around. Slightly roughs up the edges as well, so when we go to foil, it's going to be clean, it's going to be ready, and you know, it'll take the foil that much better too, so you want to think about that as well. Haven't really had a chance to clean all this stuff up from the cuts, but yeah, yesterday was it was a big mess. Actually, it was 2 days ago. Or was it? Yeah, it was yesterday. Just trying to work and be on that, be drugged up like that. It was so dumb. And I also remember Benadryl being okay for me. Like, hey, I could take one and it'll work. And so that was that. If I had some allergies, I would take it, and then it would be fine. I wouldn't worry about it. And for some reason, that yesterday it didn't work. I'm basically breathing through my mouth right now. My nose is plugged up, so I hate when this happens. This is clean. I think I'm just gonna make sure every piece is clean while we're here. Might as well give it a nice bath right now. So we always want to clean our glass pieces after the cut. Oh man, I just cut myself. How crazy. Oh, so you know, this is so careless of me. I just went to grab it really hard. I don't know if you saw that at all. Like, that was just a quick touch on the glass, and the edges are still pretty sharp because this piece, you know, I hadn't grinding it down yet, but gave it a little cut. Man. Okay. It's funny, back in the days when I started doing glass work, all this stuff, I wasn't cutting myself at all. And now it's just recently, like in the last project, I cut myself, and then now I cut myself. I don't know. Maybe my skin's changing. Things are happening. But let me get a Band-Aid. Yeah, I'll get a Band-Aid. I'll be right back. Okay. Okay. Okay, I'm back. A little messed up still. Yeah, I guess can't really do videos when you're drowsy, plugged up, and whatever allergies hits. It's kind of crazy. Let's clean all the pieces as well as grind them down a little bit too, just so they aren't sharp right on the ends and the edges. So one thing we're supposed to do is make sure that you clean off all the oils as well. When you go to cut your glass, there's oils on it from the cutting oil. And if you leave that on the glass, then when you go to foil, the foil won't stick to it, to the glass, because of the oil. So you definitely want to clean each piece, and you could just dunk it in the water and you know, just dry it off like that. Should be fine. But while we're here, I'm also trying to grind some of these pieces so they're easier to handle. They don't hurt when we touch it. It's not going to get us cut ourselves again. So probably a good idea to clean them all and grind them down a little bit. We normally don't have. Sometimes I don't really, I don't grind down these pieces. I don't really worry about it. If I see it and it looks bad, then I might, you know, file it down. But usually I just look pretty good. Then normally I don't do anything with it, but clean it, yes, but not grinding it. But right now, for some reason, I feel like I need to grind each of these pieces. Not liking this allergy stuff, huh? It just started hitting me like yesterday. Because what happened was it was a nice day. It was hot. It was a hot day. Started out real warm already. So we were thinking, oh, we should ride our bikes to take the kids to preschool, since it's not too far. So we had a nice bike ride. And during that ride in the morning, it was kind of windy. So all this pollen, whatever, was in the air. Just hitting you right in the face. So as we're riding, it was feeling good. You got the wind in your face. It's getting pretty warm. We come home and my wife's getting allergies, getting an attack. And then I was like, oh, I'm fine. Soon enough, it hits me. And so I was like, I gotta take some meds because I need to get back into this. Try to do some work and stuff. And so, yeah, that was yesterday. And today, Now I'm feeling it again. I've got the entire garage closed right now. Like no doors open, no windows open, nothing. And it's still getting to me. Also yesterday it got my thermometer was saying outside thermometer here saying 32 Celsius, which is 89.6 degrees Fahrenheit. We were almost hit 90 here, just in the garage. Right now it's still pretty warm today. I forgot what I was talking about. So yeah, I hit 90 degrees here in the garage. Today is gonna be a little bit warm, but not as hot as yesterday. Also, I'm starting this early on in the day, so try to beat the heat a little bit. And we have family coming into town today, later this evening. So I'm trying to finish this as best as I can. I don't even know where we're gonna get to. I have a feeling it's gonna be a I'm hoping we do just copper foiling. Do some copper foiling, finish that up today, and we might have to sit here for a few more days while we have to take care of the family. So, not sure. Let's see. It's pretty good. Easy grinding, light grinding on there. It all looks pretty straight. Yeah, so pretty much just that one piece that needed extra grinding. All these here, just like roughing it up, making sure the sides are like, you know, there's no sharp glass to cut you. That's all. And then that helps to clean the edges too, right? So we got to do that to prep for the copper foil. So now it's dried and clean. And then we will, let me clean some of this stuff up and then I'll be right back. We're gonna get started on the copper foiling. I just want a nice clean table, so we'll be right back, okay? Okay, I got all the pieces here now. Everything is cleaned off, dried off, and we're ready for the next step. This is the foiling step. So we've got the cut done, actually grinded a little bit of stuff, so that's done. And then we have foiling next. My foils, I like to use, I'm gonna be using this silver back copper foil. And there's different types, you might know. We have, well, 3 types that I've seen so far. We have black backed copper foil. We have copper backed copper foil. This one looks exactly the same as the front side of it. The back side of it is still the copper color. So we have the black, silver, and copper. You could choose whatever you want to do with this, right? So the main thing is if you have a clear glass piece like this backing will show, you know, right through it. So however you, like whatever the end result you want it to be for the patina changes the solder color. And so when we solder it is silver, it starts off as silver. So if you want to leave it alone, we can leave it silver for the solder, and then we just take the silver backing for the copper foil. If you wanted to add black patina, the black patina, all the solder lines will turn black. And so you just want to match the black back of the copper foil to the patina or whatever final result that you want. So right now we're going to be doing silver, and there's not much to it. This is like one of the easiest, I think one of the easiest steps. Now that our glass is clean, we've got this tape peeled off. Okay, so I try to look left and right side, see if it's evenly spaced out. Excuse me. I don't know if I'm gonna last much longer in this garage either. I think taking half of the meds is not enough to kick in and really stop the allergies for me. So it's either like all or none, and depending on how I want to feel, if I want to be drowsy but no more allergies, then take the whole freaking pill and we're good. But then all I want to do is go to sleep and can't do anything. Oh, okay, so we are wrapping this foil all the way around here and just lining it up, pulling it nice and taut and looking back and forth. You don't have to get it perfect, but as close as you can. But pulling it taut will really help in that alignment. Okay, and then just go ahead and pat it down. Now we've come back to the beginning. Wrap it over. You could start off with any of the spots and then just wrap over it, and then we'll cut it off. All right. That's pretty much what you want to do with the foil. Fold it down, and then as you come down to the corners, maybe just leave it alone for now. I like to leave it alone, and then just continue on, kind of press down on it, let it stick to the glass right there. And then what I like to do is take the FID tool. They come in different sizes. This one happens to be a FID tool for lead cane work. These can open up lead channels. You can scrape some of the putty. Oh. I'm very glad I'm not doing lives right now, because you guys, I would just be stepping out like, it wouldn't work. There's also like this notch right here. It's very cool. So when you go to run, I don't know why I was picking that up. When you go to run this, it helps to kind of crush it right on the corners right here. So I found that helps a lot. So this one is nice. I forget what this is called, but I'll try to find it, and I'll put it up there for you if you wanted to get something like this. But yeah, and then I like this flat part just to really press it in. And on the tips where they meet, just fold them over. Just neatly fold them over. You can start working on making sure all these those corners where they meet, fold them over. It's not very hard work at all. This is one of the easiest steps, but you got to pay attention to. Make sure they do stick to the glass. This is where your solder is going to go. Solder flows right onto the foil. So just kind of pressing it in, getting it in there. You could use some wooden stick, a little small stick. You can get a pen marker, like a Sharpie. I like to use a Sharpie too. Here's like the rounded cap or the rounded end. They roll nicely on this. What else? Yeah, back in the days I was using a wooden stick. Now I was using the markers as well. And then I didn't know I had this from my Craigslist haul. This is when I got that cabinet. Again, I walked off with a box full of equipment, full of like small tools and things like that, and this was in there. So, you know, you get something like this, and then it's just so helpful. But yeah, anything could really work. Just something better than your fingernails. That's all I can say. It's starting to heat up as well. Warming up in this garage. Okay, so start over. Tape. Get a good start so that you know it's even. And just go sections at a time. You don't have to do a full length of it. I find sometimes when it's too long, maybe you don't line it up as nice, and it doesn't line up all the way through, so you can stop, you know, at a halfway point, something like that. But if you feel you got it, go for it all the way through. You know, this piece is small, it's very easy. Okay. And this glass right now has one side that is very, or one side is pretty flat, normal flat, and then this other side has a lot of ripples, really big grooves. And so we do the same things, but you kind of have to work it in more because there's the features of this glass is gonna make that foil lift a lot more. So just make sure that you have, you know, we really get it on there. So right now, see, I saw a tip there that actually lifted. Just trying to correct it. If it looks good, your solder will also look good. If the line is straight, the line curves off somewhere, that solder will flow right on top of it and it'll show that. So as easy as it looks here, you do have to pay attention still. I think this entire art is all about paying attention, really paying attention to your details, the stuff that you're doing. It will reflect and show in the end. And so, you know, even a small step like this, the foil, if we don't push it into the glass right here with the waves, you'll have some of these spots that lift off, and it will show, you know. Might not show the whole time, or even might not notice it, but if you go to work on it and look around, you might see some issues with it. Yeah, this step is, I don't know, I'm not excited about this step. It's just one of those steps that you got to do. Sometimes it doesn't stick. I might have to help it start off, you know, hold it down. Okay. If you don't like it, just pull it off. Try it again. Line it up again. We got a lot to go right now. Remember, if you're doing just the one project, all you're doing is that one big diamond and the two triangles, and that'll be your project. And we'll do it the same way. You know, you'll be done with it right now after piecing this third piece right here. Pretty much get your whole project done. I just decided I want to make this piece a little bit bigger, and to make it hold more air plants. I've seen some of these, you know, with like pretty much this style. Back in the days, there weren't that many air plant holders. I saw a few, but you know, nothing too repetitive out there. But you know, as time goes on, we're looking at Instagram. Everybody's got like the same projects, the same posts and everything. So really hard to say who started this and who came up with it. What I like to do is just still stick to the geometric shapes, and that way for you guys that are learning, when you're starting out, you can just go off of these shapes. Nobody can really claim, you know, that they made a diamond shape air plant holder and that was their idea, because geometric shapes have been there. So you're just working off of that. And so a lot of the projects that I like to do also is to make sure that you don't follow or you don't directly copy somebody's work. It is something that we can come up with on our own. We have an idea of it, and you know, you might see something similar, but it sparks an idea, and that fully you can just take advantage of and use it for your own ideas and projects. So that's what I like about it, sticking with geometric shapes. Okay, so that is our first piece, and really the entire project right here. And you know, we'll have to figure out how to prop it up, hold it up, to be able to tack everything and solder it all together. But so far you get an idea right now. You see where it's supposed to go, and you know, with everything sealed off and complete with the solder, you'll see where the plants kind of just hang in there, and you can put that in. So pretty much this is like the entire, I mean, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 pieces to go, doing the same stuff here on the copper foil. So somebody's here. You gonna go somewhere? Yeah. All right, so where were we? Coming back. Right, no more cutting ourselves. We ground down some of the edges here so that we can handle it better. You know, at this point is when you should be watching some TV, watching movies, or listening to something, listening to some music. This is like the perfect time to do that. Foiling sessions. There's just not really much going on. Funny enough, I was talking to my friend about his work and him working on his projects and stuff, and started out doing stained glass, and he's like, man, I have music going on, I'm listening to a bunch of stuff and just enjoying the process and like really getting into doing stained glass work. And I was telling him, I don't think there's been a project, maybe rarely, that I have done where, you know, I'm just sitting here just hanging out and not like doing the talking. So I'm gonna have to find myself doing that sometime, like somehow, because sounds like it's fun. I don't know. You guys tell me. Is it good? Is it fun out there when you don't have to talk the whole time? Because I know this is what I'm choosing to do. Um, in a way, it does give me, like, I feel like I'm conversating with somebody. Like, I'm talking to you and you're listening. So you're out there. I appreciate that. Um, it gives me, like, keeps me entertained a little bit too, because I feel like you're there. I think you're there. And so, this is an empty garage. The reality is it's quiet in here. Like, that's it, I can hear some of the noise outside, activities out there. But for the most part, it's just nice and quiet in here. So sometimes I could probably have some music on and stuff. But, if I am going to be doing the talking, then you can't really have music first, like if I had music in the background, I can't really just play music. Like I would play the radio, you can't do that, right? You can't do that because copyright stuff. And so you wouldn't be able to play anything have anything in the background. If they pick it up, then it's, you can't do that. So it ends up just being quiet, but it's a different type of enjoyment. So I'm not sure. This is all we've got right now. Just listening to the outside world while talking to the outside world. That's very profound. Oh shit, this one's not sticking. Sometimes I wonder what everybody else is doing. Most of the time I wonder that. I see people posting a lot on Instagram. Because, you get on YouTube and it's like everybody has a lot of things to say. We got points we have to make. There's projects that we're trying to show you guys, trying to teach and share all of this stuff. So there's always a lot to talk about. There's always something to go off of. And you can just, like if like I got some ideas actually. I put out a new video to let everybody know like what it was, the essentials, stained glass essentials. And so you would, like that video should be good for people, like as an updated video as well. Good for people to know what all the tools you need to do this work. And we're basically just trying to stick with hand tools, nothing crazy. Craziest thing that you need to get is a glass grinder. You want to make bigger projects than what we're doing right now, and try to grow with this craft. You'll have to get a glass grinder. Unless you stick with just simple, smaller projects, then it's totally fine. I mean, like back in the days, they didn't have a glass grinder. And I mean like back in the, how old does this date back to? Like medieval times or something, where they don't have electricity for a glass grinder. So everything was made by hand. And is it medieval times? I don't know. That's seems too far back. But anyways, it's all just by hand. You cut the glass, you make it, and you can make a lot of cool stuff. Look at like the old churches and whatever has been made with stained glass. It's all without a grinder. So basically it's kind of like a cheating step, but we all know it helps, and it helps our work. and we get to make better, or not better, but we get to make different types of projects, right? We can expand the skills. So in that way, that glass grinder is very important. But yeah, you really don't need a glass grinder until you get to a point where it feels like, okay, I want these projects to be faster, or make different things, a lot of curves and stuff that you have to break off and grind to fit nicely and all that stuff. So anyways, I made that project I made that video because I wanted to tell people about it and have it be like a good video for reference, for people to know about what you need, right? And so then I thought about, okay, I should expand on it. So I will, and I plan on doing more videos with like each individual step, and I just mean like with each big steps, the main steps. So the cutting can be its own video, and the cutting, there's a lot to talk about. There's always tips and things that I can come up with, and I'll have to put all that together. But basically you have a cutting video that needs to be done, so all about cutting, and I want to just dump everything I know and just drop it all for you guys. So whatever I know about cutting, I'm just gonna put it out there so everybody knows, and then you can learn as much as you can with all of this, and I can share as much as I can. So we'll have the cutting videos, we'll have the grinding video, cut, grind, foiling video even, maybe there's a focus on that, and I guess pretty much sums up all this stuff, but I'm sure there's probably a little bit more things that I can come up with, but you know what I mean. So soldering, of course, there's such a big really like a big demand for it. I feel soldering is still one of the hardest steps, and to most people it still is going to be for a long time. Trying to understand how to do that right, it'll show in your piece. You'll know who has been working doing soldering for longer. You can just see the work and see who understands like that tool. So it all just comes with time, and I wasn't good at any of this stuff. I learned, just went along with it and just kept going and trying different things and breaking a ton of glass, just doing all that stuff, trial, error. Yeah, overall I think it's simple enough. I think it's doable enough. I like that it is good for almost any age. I don't know what the youngest age would be. I'd say like 9 or 10 or something like that, maybe, to start. Maybe even earlier. But once they understand like the techniques of the tools, how to use them, especially like the soldering iron, then I think younger kids could pick it up too. And then what's really good is it's like a craft that also works with old people. A lot of the older generations, folks can still work with this stuff. It doesn't require like a lot of strength or some special, I don't know, just not a lot of, it's technical. I think it gets technical, but you don't have to lift up heavy things. A heavy sheet of glass is about, like, once you put it all together, that's the heaviest it'll get. So I feel like that's totally fine. And yeah, I can see myself doing this for a long time, and other people too who may be older can do this as well. So that's pretty cool. So I don't know how did it turn into me trying to convince you to start to get into stained glass. But yeah, what it all comes down to is that I just like the choices that you can make. You know, for me, like I mentioned, like I always stick with like geometric stuff, things that are just out there, like already, shapes that are out there, and you can make that into your own thing. Combine different shapes, or just whatever you see from the shapes that you can draw from and then make your own designs. I mean, that goes for most of anything in art. It doesn't have to be stained glass at all. But the cool thing about that is we can turn that into art, into the glass stuff. So this becomes our world, and then we have all the choices, all the... Oh, I gotta fly in the garage here, so you might hear this dude buzzing around. But yeah, so if you get it, I think you'll get it. You know, the choices that you can make from all the glass available. Like, everything is out there. All the colors and anything else you might want to make your own to fit your look, your style, the feel of that project for the clients, you know. It's very cool. Yeah, that's kind of why I like it, I guess. Nobody was asking, but how did we get there? I don't really know. All I know is it's heating up in this garage, and I am trying to finish up, trying to get this thing done. So I know a lot of you guys are watching as a, like, you know, you might leave this in the background. You might have, you're doing your own work, and we're just hanging out. So I'm in your studio working next to you. That's very cool. I think most of you, feel like a lot more people have said that. You're doing some other stuff and working on your own projects. That's very cool. Like, I want to connect more with folks who are working on doing their stuff too, you know, because I don't get to see a lot of what other people do. Besides, you know, trying to get on Instagram and see all the other stained glass artists and stuff. So I'm curious if some of those stained glass artists, or if you are in fact a stained glass artist watching this right now. Let me know. That'd be really cool. I think there are some of you, I'm not too sure, but some just end up liking hanging out here, and I'm very happy with that too. So yeah, so far it's been really nice. I enjoy that. I appreciate the people that come through. You guys, the ones that are watching and just really hanging out here, to not have to worry about much, you know. Like right now I'm just doing this foiling, and you probably already get the idea. You've already seen me do it. I've explained some of the stuff. So yeah, with all of this, if you do have questions still, as you're looking at this and you're like, what's that all about, or what you're doing with this and that, just try to leave a comment, and then I'll do my best to answer it. We'll try to help you figure all this stuff out too. My whole goal is to get everybody out there wanting to do this, work with their hands, and know that they can do it by themselves. It feels really good when you do a project and you made it yourself. I always bring it back to same thing with buying furniture, like an art piece even. It could be cool, like you say, hey, I bought this from this cool artist, and I have it up on the wall, and everybody enjoys that, and there's nothing wrong with that at all. But then also, if you can say, yeah, this piece was made by me, and I made it, and now you have something more to talk about with that conversation. Your friend comes over and you're saying, hey, this furniture, like, I love this table, where'd you get it? And you end up saying, yeah, I made that, and everybody's going to be curious about how you did it and what went through the process of doing it, and everything else, and you feel proud of it. So that's kind of what I want with this. I want this to be that thing for you. I want you to say, hey, I can do this too. I'm looking at this, I see this guy doing this work. It's just kind of like rubbing this foil back and forth. I don't know what it is, but he's doing it, and I feel like I can do it too, because I don't know, it doesn't look that hard, is it? Or it's like, that's it, you're kind of doing this the whole time. And then soon enough, one piece turns into 20, whatever project you're doing, and then you're done, and you move on. Look at that. We only have 3 more to go. I didn't think I could just talk my way through this whole thing. But yeah, I would love it if people are out there getting started with this and just finding this to be their thing. My friend recently did that. My very good friend who gave me this drawing that I made into a picture frame, and he's taken this now, and with his drawing skills, and he's got ideas. It's amazing to see, like what a person can come up with, having this knowledge of making glass, but turning it into their own stuff. Like, I could say I don't have ideas that are amazing, like design-wise. Like, I haven't done anything so incredible, crazy that, like, oh man, this needs to be shown everywhere or whatever. But I gotta say, like, I'm proud of them. I'm really proud of them. There's definitely lots of projects that I've done that I love. It's like, oh man, I can't believe I did that. So just to get that feeling, that's what I want from you guys. I want you guys to feel that. I want other people to feel that. I want you to be able to look at something from now on and say, I think I can do that. I feel like I can do it. Instead of go, oh, I have no idea what that is. I want to just buy it. I would rather you not have to buy something if you can make something. This shift from becoming a consumer to a maker, creator, it wasn't in me. It wasn't there for a long time. And from my old work, I think that's what it is I was working at a place that everybody had creative things going on outside of work, and I would see them work on their projects and just be so curious about it, and like, man, they're so talented. How did they get into that? Or how, like, what skills did they learn for this and that? And it all builds up like over time. You don't have something that you can learn right away. You can't just pick this up and say you're going to get it the next day. You know, these skills take time, but because they loved it and they liked what they were doing, let's say welding. I had a lot of welders at work, and so it's like, yeah, they loved it. They loved doing the metal work, welding things together, and now they have a job welding, you know, and they can actually also create art from it. So that's what they were doing. I saw that, and it's just very fascinating to see. So, like, I didn't have the skills to do much of that. I was just like doing regular work until I think just being around them enough, feeling like maybe I could do something. And that, you know, for some reason, this whole thing came to me, and stained glass just, like, you know, my story is I found it, saw it, looking at or doing shopping around, walking around shopping, and I see stained glass hanging somewhere, and I got really curious and said maybe I could do it too. I don't know what I was thinking, but I said maybe I could do it too. You know, and that was enough to get me down this whole rabbit hole, right? Like, get into this whole thing. It's so crazy. That's where I am, just like with this stuff, and it's just step by step, not knowing shit about what I was gonna do, how I was gonna do it, but saying, hey, I think I want to do it. And now everything around me has changed, like, you know, including even like motorcycle maintenance. You know, that was something that I would never think about. And I didn't really have any motorcycle before, but when I did pick up my scooter, I still had to rely on the mechanic that I bought it from, and you know, I had no idea what the heck was going on with it. But as time went on, I felt like maybe I should look into it more, learn about how to fix it, and also it helps when I was away from the guy, like far away, and moved, so I couldn't, you know, get help anymore like that. So I had to figure it out online, and I did. I fixed some stuff, and I'm able to fix it to where I can ride it again too. So, you know, things like that. I hope you can find yourself into becoming somebody who I guess you have to want to put in some of the time and the effort into fixing stuff and making things for yourself. You know, of course, like with time and everything, like, you have to weigh the benefits. If you don't have time for it because you're busy working all the time, then how are you gonna get things done like that? But I think you know what I'm trying to say. And if you have that mindset, if you have the mindset of somebody who's going to be, who wants to, who knows that it can be fixed, and you just have to research and figure it out, versus leaving it and say, oh, I have no clue, and then, you know, throwing it off to somebody else. I think having that different mindset changes you. So, I don't know. I hope I'm not being too preachy about it. And I do not want it to be a thing where, you know, everybody's going to have to do this way, do it this way. This is the life you need to live. But it's my hope that in the examples and stuff, the work that I do, to show you that, yeah, these are the steps. This is what it takes, these steps that you have to do. And right now you see it live in real time, the stuff that I'm doing, so you know what I'm going through to make it. And so you'll see actual step by step where we are how I got there and what is next. So if you were to follow and follow along, do this exact project, I hope you can make this project just from me sitting here doing this stuff right in front of you. So if somebody gets it and is able to do that, then I think this is the job that I want to share. This is exactly what I want. I want it to be something like this, that you can just say, hey, I think this looks really cool. I want to make it. And then soon enough, you have it hanging in your house. And it is your own design. Like this diamond, we talked about, you can change the shapes of it, the size of it, whatever else you want to do with it. And it could just be yours. So that's what I want. So every project, I hope I can make it like that. I think this one's a good one. This one feels good. Like it's actual, like you're not going to copy anybody. Anybody thinks that they copied. If anybody thinks that we copied somebody else, it's like you can't. You have a diamond and some triangles. There's not much of anything else that you can do with it. It's like saying that I don't know, like the pinwheel or something, or the moon. Like all that stuff is not so copyrightable. Like I can't just say, hey, you can't make moons anymore. You can't make like the flower of life. Especially like that one. That's a sacred geometry that's been created since like way back before Leonardo, and I don't know, I just remember some of the names, but like, you'll see examples like that throughout history. So for me, it's like, take it, use that, and make it your own, right? So we're going to turn it into glass. What the hell? Looks good. And if I could do that with other stuff too, and then expand on that, right? You can do a whole bunch of other art and stuff, and then, I mean, what you'll gain from it is, what I'm trying to gain from it is that you learn how to see how the glass works with the design, and then you learn how the glass works with the color choices and all the technical stuff you have to do with it, all the stuff that we're doing here. So it's like you build your skills off of that, right? So those things aren't copyrighted. You can just get that anywhere. And so not a personal design at all, right? So nobody has any rights to it. So things like that, sacred geometry, and even these simple ones. But basically, like, that's what you should start off with. And you'll see, most of my stuff is what I've been doing, feeling like that's what I still need to do, is to grow and learn and get good with this stuff. Because then this thing, I have no idea in the future where it's going to take me, and how the ideas get crafted and shift from one project to the next. And soon enough, I hope in the future, I can design some stuff that looks, a lot better. It could be more of my own designs, or something else that people see and say, oh, that's really cool. I think this is his design. But as of right now, like, I don't think I'm there. I don't have a design that's uniquely mine. And I don't really worry too much about that. I don't want to. I'm still trying to focus on just the easy, simple stuff, so I have a good base and foundation in the arts. And it's a slow step, It's been a couple of years already, and I'm still, like, I always feel like I'm just freaking starting over. Especially now, I feel like I'm starting over. Taking that year off and coming back to it totally feels like I'm just starting again. So anyways, that's a whole big rant thing I was talking about. I don't even know where we were going with that, or what the point of this whole thing was. I gotta say, first of all, if you're still here, man, I thank you so much. I can't, like, thank you enough for just spending the time and wanting to hear what I have to say, or wanting to be with me while we're doing this stuff, So I hope you got something out of it. I hope you feel like you can get something, do something like this, and attempt something real small. You know, even if it's like, look at this, like 3 pieces. It's gonna look so good. You know, you hang that up on a wall. It's like, that's it. 3 simple pieces. We solder it together, and you have a hanging air plant holder, whatever this thing is. You know, it'll look really good. Play with the glass, all that stuff. Let me know where you guys are watching from. I always want to ask that. It's just, I feel like, I hope that's not, I don't feel like that's too repetitive, but it's nice to know where you guys are watching from and what you're doing. So if you let me know where you're watching from, what you're doing, that'd be really great, because that's how I can connect with you, and just know that as I'm here in this garage by myself, at least I know that there's somebody out there that is watching this, but also doing something else. You know, spending this time doing their work as well. It'd be really cool to see what the hell you guys are doing out there as well. Okay. All right. Again, I'm not going to be able to come back to this in a few days. We've got family coming in today. And so next step is soldering. Just going to be a few days before I can get back in here, and I'll do my best to show you guys the next steps so we can get this done. And I will upload this video so you'll have it right now. Okay? All right. Talk to you soon. Thanks.